Welcome, everyone, to our weekly Torah learning of spreading more light into the world. We always like to start off with giving because how we give, that's how Hashem will give to us. Let's give generously so Hashem will give us generously. I'm going to put some coins in the tzedakah box. Please join me from home. Tzedakah is protection. The Tzemach Tzedek said if we only knew the power of Tehillim, we would say it day and night. For the last 2 years and change, we've been saying Tehillim every single week for the hostages to come home. And Baruch Hashem, thank God, all the live hostages are home, but we need to continue praying for them, for their well-being and for their health and their mental health and their spiritual health. And we also want to continue to pray that all the hostages that are not home as of yet, that need to have a proper Jewish burial and the families could have closure, they should come home. And Tillim has a lot of power. So we're going to start with Psalm 20, Kapitel Chaf. We're also including all the amazing Chayalim and Chayalot, the IDF, who are legit angels and tzaddikim, and for the protection of all the Jewish people around the whole world. Lam Natseach, Mizmar LeDavid, Yancha Adonai B'yam Tzara. Yisagevcha Shem Elahei Kai V'yishlach Ezracha Mikaidesh. Umitzian Yisadeka Yiskar Kol Min Chasecha Ve'elaska Yidash Nesela. Yitain Lacha Chalvavecha V'chol Tascha Yimalei. Neranana B'Shua Secha U'V'Shem Eloheinu Nidgal Yimalei Adonai Kol Mishalei Secha. Ata Yadaiti Ki Ashia Adonai Mishicha Yaneu Mishmei Kachai B'Gorei Seisha Yiminai. Elev Arechev. V'Ela v'asusim v'anachnu b'shem Adonai Eloheinu naskir. Hema karu v'nafalu v'anachnu kamnu v'nisaydad. Adonai Hashia hamelach yanenu v'yan karenu. I do these classes weekly in merit for the complete refuah shlema for Yosef ben Devorah Leah, Razel Bas Hadas, Rafal Chaim Meir ben Simachasha, Yosef Shlomo ben Risha, Devorah Leah bas Yafa Liba, Mercedes ben Esther, Esther Bela bas Yocheved Chana, Tzipporah bas Yocheved Zissel, Gershon Leib ben Menucha, Meir Simcha ben Rivka Dina, and everyone that needs should have a complete refuah shalema. I dedicate these classes in memory of my dear grandmothers, Rivka Dina bas Yosef Yehuda, I hope you're proud, and my other grandmother, Bela bas Batalo, I hope you're proud. To save a life is saving a world, and he saved many in the Soviet Union. My great uncle, Chaim Dov ben Betzalo, known as Chaim Beryl Shansky. Also, we're dedicating this class to Sanya Zahara Bat David, a really special, dear friend of mine. Their sister and sister-in-law perished in a terrible fire in the beginning of this year, and may the family have comfort in Hashem Sheshem Mashiach. And I personally knew her. I also dedicate this class to my dear uncle, Rabbi Lipsker. Not every gem is a giant, and not every giant is a gem. Rabbi Lipsker was both a giant and a gem. I have another uncle that passed away this year. That's right, Ad Masai. Yechiel Michel ben Moshe. And every room he would walk into, he would light up the rooms, and now the heavens are lit. So I hope they hear me upstairs. I dedicate the classes every week to my very special people, and may we see them so soon with the coming of Mashiach. So today's class is very dear to me because a dear friend of mine, and we daven for her every single week, Tzipporah bas Yocheved Zissel, to have a complete refuah shlema. And she has a story to share. Everybody has a story. And you could walk by someone in the street and you never know what someone's going through. So today we are going to hear from Tzippy a little bit about herself. And I want to just give a little intro of I am organizing with a few other incredible humans, RCCS. It's a cancer organization to heal and to be there for people that are going through treatments. We should not know of it, but unfortunately, we know too many people that are going through things. And we are organizing an incredible Crown Heights auction for the 3rd year. We got the most incredible prizes from the most amazing people and vendors. I posted the prizes in the chat which I'll repost it again shortly. And I will post it on the description of the class. So look out for it if those of you that are listening to this recording. And last year, I interviewed Yafi Begun, why she sponsored a wig with Salon Leah, and together with Salon Leah, they sponsored a wig. And I just want to say that she said that she's going to sponsor a wig again this year. So it's mind blowing how incredible every single vendor in Crown Heights are. We went from store to store to store, old fashioned way. We picked up gift cards. We also had people sponsor prizes, some anonymously and some not. But we're so grateful for everyone that's partnering with us to help raise funds and awareness for this very important cause. On November 23rd, we are going to be having the most amazing live um, auction with an incredible guest speaker, Charlene Aminoff. She is someone that also went through this. She's a huge blogger and a huge influencer in the Jewish world. She's a queen and she really inspires people. So we're very humbled that we got her with the help of RCCS. And she personally knows Tzippy. So I'm sure it's not what you know, it's who you know. So I'm sure Tzippy, she agreed to come also because you're very dear to her. And it's going to be incredible. If you can't join live, do not fear. I'm going to make sure to record the evening on November 23rd, but it's going to be in Crown Heights in the JCM. Please come. Please tell your families to come. And it's okay if you don't live in Crown Heights. Come to Crown Heights. We really want you to come and join us. And really, um, it's going to mean a lot to all the people that are going through this machla, and for the people that went through it, to see the support of their brothers and sisters. It is a women's event, but men can donate prizes to the auction. So without further ado, I'm really blessed to interview. We did a lot of interviewing behind the scenes, but to introduce as well Tzippy Leader of Crown Heights. She is a mother and she's a wife and she's a friend and she's a wonderful human. And right now she's going through some tests in her life. We all go through tests. But right now she has a very big test and we need to help her get through it. And she's going to share her story. And the reason why she's sharing her story today is not so you could just hear her story, so she could help somebody else hearing her story, inspire, and to get people to want to support this very important cause that helps literally families put a smile on their face and help them carry them through this very like dark cloud, and they make it much brighter. So welcome, Tzippy. We are honored and humbled to have you with us today on our weekly class to share your story and to inspire. I'm inspired by you. Now take it away. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I'm Tzippy. I live in Crown Heights. I'm married, Canada Barshem for 18 years. I have 5 children, two which are on the spectrum. And um, they're the reasons my husband and my kids are a big reason for me being so strong. I've got a lot of support, but um, so my journey began in 2019. I went for a regular routine woman checkup by my doctor, and they spot a small pea-sized tumor. Um, and they like, okay, you know what? It's not so important, but let's make an appointment with a specialist. Let's go see what it is. It's probably just a cyst or something, but let's go check it out because they weren't able to do anything or get anything like try and pop it or anything. So I go to get an appointment. I got the appointment, and I go and see this doctor. And he goes, "Oh, it's probably just a cyst. It's probably nothing." And he tries, and usually, if it's a cyst, things will come out of it, but nothing was coming out of it. So he's like, "Okay, let's take a biopsy and let's see what's going on." A week passed about, and Dr. Rosen, I happened to see Dr. Rosen as an appointment, and he's like, "Let your doctor call me and speak to me." And the doctor calls him And Dr. Rosen turns to him over the phone and says, have you sent her for an MRI? He goes, no. He's like, well, you should, because it could be possibly, and he names some kind of cancer. I'm at this point, I'm going to say I was assuming it's a cancer that I end up having. We'll get to that, but that's what I'm assuming he was saying. And when I heard that my actual primary care doctor had to go tell this specialist that um, he should send me for an MRI. I knew something wasn't right, but I didn't know where else to go at that point. It hits Friday, and my doctors is telling me it's indecisive. It's not giving me any answers. It's not. He's not sure what's going on. And I was messaging two of my friends and telling them what's going on. And one of them mentioned that she's helping one of her other friends that has cancer, and RCCS is a part of it, and she'll get in touch if I need. And I said to her, I said, honestly, I don't want RCCS involved. It makes it too real. I don't want right now. Let me think about it. So she goes, okay, think about it over Shabbos and get back to me if you need me. So Friday night, by the Shabbos meal, sitting around the table, I turned to my husband and my in-laws and I said, well, this friend of mine brought it up about getting RCCS involved, and I would like to know your thoughts.
So
And they all,
before we
sure,
continue, that's okay. I just wanna, could you tell us who your in-laws are and who your father-in-law, Oliver Shalom, was and is? Because he was a
sure,
giant, and we
yes.
interviewed someone about his incredible legacy, so we really know where you're getting your advice from.
Sure. So my mother-in-law and father-in-law are Rabbi Avram and Temi Leader from Crown Heights. My father-in-law, Oliver Shalom, ran Abbas Chesed, which my husband took over after my father-in-law's son's passing. So my father-in-law and mother-in-law, we were by the table, and my husband and my father-in-law was like, you know what, I have someone I could reach out to. I'll reach out to him. So at some point after Shabbos, my father-in-law reached out to Moshe Klein, um, who's a liaison on the men's side for RCCS. And he explained what was going on. And he's like, okay. And within a couple of minutes that Monday, I got a phone call from a coordinator, Yiddish, amazing coordinator. Um, and she's like, okay. I sent her all the information that I had. She helped me get everything I needed from MRIs to CAT scans, everything I had. Friday, my husband and I were about to sit down to eat breakfast after the kids went off to school. And I get a phone call from Yida saying that she's able to move mountains for me and get me into this top specialist that deals with gynecological cancers. But I need to go today. And if I can't, then she could give me another doctor that will be Tuesday. But he doesn't have the best bedside manner, and I really want you to go today.
So walk us through, Tippy, walk us through how long, like this is a big deal that they were able to get you that appointment for that day. But tell us a little bit about that. Like, otherwise, how long would you have to wait for the appointment from RCCS
For
without
this,
RCCS?
so for this doctor, it's months. If you're lucky, it's months, if not years. It could be very hard. But this doctor is phenomenal, and I had to go into New Jersey for it. So when I got that phone call, I said, just 1 second, I'm right next to my husband. Let me just turn to him and ask him. And I told him what she said, and he goes, well, you drive. I'll take care of the kids. And he's like, he called his mother, and my mother-in-law pick her up, and we hop into the car and we drive to New Jersey. But the question was, with Shabbos and all, and our CCS told me, you should be back on time for Shabbos, but just in case not, you're allowed to. You could do it, you have to, but there's no question you should be back on time for Shabbos. We get to New Jersey, and the place is gorgeous. And we go into the room, we sit down. He's very sweet, very caring. Sits here talking to us, answering all the questions. He checks me, he looks, he does what he has to. Because I forgot to say, and by the other doctor, within a week, the tumor grew a lot. So it was the size of a pea. Let's say when I first saw him, by the time I got to him was, let's say, it was the size of a pea when my doctor saw it. Then when the specialist saw it was the size of an orange. By the time I got to see Dr. Lateo, it was probably the size of a watermelon, but it wasn't widthwise, it was lengthwise. It was growing upwards. So it started hitting
So
like
time,
all vital
time,
organs.
time really has a big impact how long you wait to see a doctor.
Definitely. And especially with the cancer that I found out eventually, I found out that I had, yes. Time definitely has a big impact. So we sit down, he does what he has to, he speaks to me, he goes, I'm doing a biopsy. And he starts saying different things he'll want to do or maybe do. He goes, you know what? Let's just wait for the results to come in and we'll go from there. I said, sure, no problem. I was in a lot of pain because the way the cancer was growing, it was growing up around my uterus and all that. So I was in a lot of pain. And so a week later, so I went to him Friday. We literally made it within the 18 minutes. We had like 3 minutes left of the 18 minutes. My mother-in-law goes running in to go bench lift. My husband comes running out. He goes, I'm parking the car. You go bench lift with the girls. So I go bench my daughter. Only one of my daughters were three. So I ran to bench lift with her. And I made it there on time for Shabbos. Baruch Hashem, we made it on time. We were able to celebrate Shabbos. Shabbos was very hard, but Baruch Hashem, we made it. A week passes by, and my husband goes out to do some things, and he calls me. He goes, "Would you like me to come home, or should I wait for the pharmacy to open?" I said, "You know what? I'm in a lot of pain. I could really use the medicine." In the meantime, my baby, who was like 2 years old at that point, um, was home with me, and I'm like, nah, it's fine. I'm good. I'm relaxing in bed. Just go get the medicine for me. I need it, and then come home. Not expecting the phone call I'm gonna get. As I'm relaxing with my baby, all of a sudden my phone rings, and it's my doctor, Dr. Teo, the top-notch doctor in Memorial Sloan. And he
And
goes,
this was
well, I
on Shabbos that you got the
this
call?
is Friday early morning. Friday after the kids went out, my husband went out to do some things for us and to get ready for Shabbos so that he could be back on time for the kids to come home because I couldn't really do anything with all the pain. But he wanted to know if he should wait for the medicine or not. I told him to wait. And a few minutes after, I get the phone call and it's Dr. Lateo. He goes, well, your biopsy results came totally back and it's cancer. And we need you to come in for surgery as soon as possible because we need to remove. And I asked him all these questions I needed to. And one of them was, what kind of cancer is it? And he goes, it's a very fast growing cancer and we need to get it out of you. But we have to figure out a few things. And RCCS helped because the insurance was an issue. So they helped me out with the insurance. And I get a call from RCCS. You need to leave for your CAT scan now. It's in New Jersey, but do not take your car, take an Uber and bring a person with you because you will definitely be back after Shabbos starts, and that we know, so you have to follow. So I'm like, what's the laws with taking your phones and all? She goes, everyone could take whatever they need. Well, as Shabbos starts, whoever's with you, you take their stuff and you hold it. Because you're the only one, because I'm the patient, I'm the only one that could carry the muksa. I said, fine. So Baruch Hashem, my mother-in-law, she gets in the car, in the Uber with me, and we drive off to New Jersey. And I go get my CAT scan. I was supposed to see Dr. Tail, but because all the moving parts had to fall into place until everything fell into place, I got to New Jersey. He wasn't able to see me, but he was going to see me Monday. I went for the CAT scan, and of course, we got home after Shabbos started. We went straight in, and Shabbos started, and over Shabbos, the pain kept on getting worse and worse. And at one point after Shabbos, we even called the hotline and they told us what to do. Long behold, it was really meant to be. Well, one of my kids got sick. I don't remember what it was, probably strep or something, like a normal, usual kid getting sick kind of thing. So he took that kid into Dr. Rosen's office to one of the pediatricians there to be seen. And Dr. Rosen happens to see him and he approaches my husband and asks how she's doing. And he explained how going to the bathroom is extremely hard. As I said before, it was around a lot of vital organs. So it was around certain areas. So it was blocking my ability to be able to use the bathroom properly. He goes, then she has to go in now. When I got into Memorial Sloan's hospital emergency room, and they did a scan. I had too much urine in my bladder that if I would have waited longer, it would have caused a lot of trouble because it could have exploded.
And what would have happened
So,
if it exploded?
sepsis shock, and then a place I don't want to think about. The
Hospital. So,
worst,
so
yes.
your son that had strep really saved you,
So whichever kid it was, yeah,
or yeah,
ha-
whoever it was.
I don't remember who it was. I don't know if it was my son or my daughters, but one of them, one of the five of them, needed the doctor, and Dr. Rosen happened to be there that Sunday and all, and saying I have to go, and ended up saving me in that end because I want to know. And RCCS right away came in, helped me through that all. I could email them, text them, call any time of day or night while I was in the hospital. They were there. And then there was confusion about when surgery was and all that. And different doctors and residents and nurses have their own say, and they're all telling me different things about it. That I right away get on the phone with RCCS and I speak to Yiddish and I tell her what's going on. And Dr. Latero messages me literally 5 minutes after I hang up with RCCS saying, "You do not have to worry. Surgery, we're not sending you home until we know what's going on. And you're probably having surgery Thursday. We're just working out the last few little things that need to work out." There were things behind the show that I didn't know about that I only found out later on that was going on. And it was issues with the insurance. And that's why Dr. Latero didn't want to bill book a OR. But Baruch Shem for RCCS again, they helped, they got it to work. They promised him that don't worry about the insurance, just let's go. So Dr. Teo takes me in, and it's over an 8-hour surgery because the cancer was up and around, and it just took a lot. They needed plastics to come in, they needed a colorectal surgeon to come in, and they made sure a plastic surgeon to come in. They need a colorectal surgeon to come in. He made sure I got the top notch doctors for everything, on top of Dr. Lateo. And RCCS was there along the way. Another way RCCS was there at one point while I'm in the hospital recuperating from the surgery. One of the doctors or someone came in, a resident or something, said, "Oh, I hear you need chemo or radiation." I don't remember which one it was. I said, "Oh, well, I didn't hear that." He goes, "Oh, maybe they didn't have a chance to tell you." He walks out of the room like everything's fine and dandy. He just didn't break me news that I didn't hear yet. And of course, I get on the phone, I email, or I call, or I don't remember what I did. But I reached out to RCCS, and they right away got on the phone and reached out to Dr. Lateo, and they get back to me and said, "Dr. Lateo will call you personally." He does. He calls me within 20 minutes. He gets on the phone with me and talks to me, and he goes, "You do not listen to anyone else besides me unless I'm the one telling you that you're having chemo radiation or whatever it is that people are telling you. It's not true unless it's me. So you do not worry about it." And that was the end. And it's only because of RCCS was I able to get a hold of him so fast. Otherwise, I would have to go onto the portal, which is an app that I'm able to reach my doctors and all. And I would have to wait for him to see them, someone to see the message and tell him to call me back. And that could take either 5 minutes and it could take a day. It could take sometimes 2, 3 days even until the doctor is able to call you back. And if it's a weekend, then you're waiting the weekend for the doctor to call you back. So that really worked. So that's really the end of that hospital stay. I was there for like 3 weeks. But as the months and days and weeks and the year goes on, there was lots of complications and lots more surgeries and a lot of other things, as I keep on repeating. The cancer was literally up and around a lot of vital organs. So complications are going to happen, sadly. I'm finally getting into a relaxed, I would call a remission stage, but you're not really in remission. But RCCS was always there along the way. And I was told I should go in for a mammogram due to my history. And RCCS, of course, helped me arrange the mammogram. And I go in for my mammogram. And remember, my first cancer was in 2018. We're up to 2021. And in between that all, my father-in-law passes away. And we're dealing with that and all. And then and he knew I was doing well. So we're at the stage where I was doing well, and RCCS was at my side if I needed. But Baruch Hashem, at that point, it wasn't needed as much. But they would always email me or call me to check in on me once a month, sometimes a few times a month, just to make
And
sure I'm
how long
okay.
is this period of time that we're
This is
talking?
from 2019 to 2021, so almost just about 2 years. I
So it's
go
pretty
from
traumatic that someone so close to you that has his own organization to help people that are struggling with hospitals and Avos Chesed helps with. We'll talk about what they do, and he passes away. So your husband is dealing with his wife going through this crisis of health, and his beloved father, who he was very loved by the entire community and worldwide. Like anyone that knew him, he was just heart. And it's interesting, his organization was called Avas Chesed, love. He was very loved and he's continued to be loved. So he should come back very
yes,
soon.
um,
So how did you all deal with that?
so he passes away, and of course, I had my follow up CAT scan. So every 3 to 6 months, I was either having an MRI or CAT scan. So I would go for my MRI. I won't see the doctor, but when the results came in, he would call me. We'll discuss them, and then the next 3 months, I will get my CAT scan, and then I would see the doctor. Um, and as soon as, so my father-in-law passed away the first night of Rosh Hashanah that year, suddenly. And then when Rosh Hashanah was over and we needed to do the Levaya, I knew I right away messaged RCCS what was going on. They right away got on the phone. They worked out the details. They said, do not worry. You go and deal with your father-in-law, with your loss, and do not worry about your appointments. We will take care of it. You do not need to worry. And we sadly went and buried my father-in-law. And during Shiva, that Friday, during the Friday during Shiva, I ended up going for my appointment because of RCCS. The insurance decided you can't see him in New Jersey anymore because you're in New York. You can't go to New Jersey, even though it's the same doctor. But
I'm just gonna cut you off for one moment.
sure,
My father-in-law was like love, and he was so loved, and we did a beautiful class in his honor. I would say 2 years back. So on the description of the class, we are going to post so you could know who Tzippy's talking about, her father-in-law of blessed memory. If you could say his full name, we're gonna post the recording that we did, so you'll get to also know a little bit more about this tzaddik of her father-in-law.
so I go for my CAT scan, and that's where RCCS also helps. So that's where the timeline is. So we finished 2020. We went through COVID. My father-in-law passes away. COVID's starting to quiet down, and people are starting to go back to work, and life is starting to go back to normal after COVID. And I go for my MRI, my mammogram, as an RCCS made sure I got into MSK to get an appointment for the mammogram. I go for my mammogram, and they call me to say that they found something a little suspicious. I should come back. And I tell RCCS about this. Like, don't worry. Sometimes they just need better pictures. I wouldn't worry so much. And they helped me work it out that I got my appointment sooner than they wanted to give it to me. This out. Why worry if there's nothing to worry about? So I get my next appointment and I go, and I'm sitting there waiting. And the person that did my mammogram turns to me and says, the doctor would like to speak to you. As soon as she said that, my my throat went into my stomach, and I knew exactly what the doctor was going to say. They bring me into a private room, and I sit down, and
You're by yourself when this happens?
no, I had a family member with me. I don't remember who. It wasn't my phenomenal mother-in-law or my husband because he wasn't able to be there. I don't remember who came with me, but there was some family member or friend or someone that did come with me. Um, and they and she sits me down, and the doctor goes, well, we see a lot of abnormal tissue in your breast, and we're very concerned. And with your history, we need to get it checked out. I said, is there a chance that it could be due to the sarcoma, the first cancer I had? She goes, I don't think so, but I'm not sure and I can't tell you yes or no, but we really need you to do a biopsy. And after
But
my biopsies,
like that minute?
like within a week, within a day or two, like they
Okay, so
wanted it sooner than later.
you got back in touch with RCCS right away?
That's where I was getting at. Yes.
Okay.
So as soon as I finished that appointment, I right away, I think I didn't even leave the doctor's office yet, the building of the office. I right away reached out to Yidis and said, this is what's going on. I'm not sure if you help it or how does it work with RCCS, because all I knew was Yidis from RCCS, who helped me through my first cancer and continues to need help me when it's needed. Um, and she gets me in touch with another amazing woman, Kava, who helped me on the journey with the breast cancer. So now I've got introduced to Yidis, and I was introduced to Kava, who's also an amazing lady and worked me through. She goes, don't worry. She made sure I got my biopsy literally within 2 or 3 days. I got it. And that was traumatic itself. And she spoke to me and told me what's possible and what's not possible, why certain things happened and all. And again, not even a week later, 5 days later, I'm in the car with my husband and my dear loving mother-in-law, of course. And I get the phone call and I didn't put it on speaker. I just put it to my ear, knowing who it was. And I said, hello. She goes, hi, is it Tzipporah? I said, yeah. She's like, well, I'm calling. Do you remember me? I'm the doctor that was there when we did the biopsy. I said, yes. She goes, I'm calling to let you know it's cancer. And I had no emotion at that point. I didn't even know what to say. So I asked whatever questions I needed to. And I said, okay, what kind? And I asked whatever questions, and she told me what we're waiting for the final pathology, but this is what came back so far. And it is, and you need to see an oncologist and all. So as soon as I hung up the phone, I don't think I had to say a word to anyone because I think they figured it out right away. And my husband just broke down, my mother-in-law did, and I couldn't because at that point I was in we need to get things going mode. Don't worry, I am human. I had my time to grieve with that. But right then and there, I knew RCCS needed to be in touch again as they are Lily Hashem's angels down here on earth helping us, helping me through this. So I reached out to Chava and I said, this is what I was told. She goes, don't worry, I'm getting you in touch with the best doctors and you will get an appointment. And of course, within that week of getting my diagnosis, I went and saw the doctor. He goes, I could do it this and this day. Go and see some kind of plastic surgeon. So go over to another building. It was a different building in Manhattan and go see this plastic surgeon. So I don't know what made me, but I decided to go email Kava and say, hey, by the way, this and this is a plastic surgeon. My oncologist, my surgeon sent me to. She goes, no. She calls me. She goes, I'm telling you this, do not use that doctor. And honestly, I don't remember the doctor's name. So I I don't even remember his name. She goes, I wouldn't use him. We've had a lot of issues. And if there's anything you don't like or anything goes on, he's not going to be able to work with you. I need to send you to someone else. I said, who? But I really don't want to have to leave and come back. She goes, no, stay there. You are going to see this plastic surgeon today, some way, somehow, even if you have to wait there a few hours. So just arrange things with your kids because you're there today because you're being seen. And she did. She did miracles. She got me into the best plastic surgeon out there, Dr. Dayan. And I had to wait a little extra and the surgery couldn't be, let's say Tuesday, it had to be Thursday instead in order for me to be seen with Dr. Dayan because he is the best. And I am very thankful Baruch Hashem was because Dr. Dion was beyond amazing and very caring. And of course, without our CCS, I wouldn't have had any of these doctors. I'm scheduled for my surgery. I had my mastectomy, um, whatever else needed to be on, and whatever complications I had. Our CCS was there to help me through. When we got the final pathology back from the whole breast and everything that they removed, and came back that it started being invasive and started going spreading with outside, meaning so it started invading other areas besides where it started, which means it goes on to a higher stage. But it wasn't so bad, and we caught it on time, so you're good, and it wasn't in any of your lymph nodes, which really is a big miracle. And that was the same thing with the other one. It wasn't in any of my lymph nodes, so that's good. So I called RCCS. I let her Chava know about this, and my doctors were concerned about if I needed radiation or chemo, and the doctor that did the surgery said no. It was meant to be. I didn't need it all. And with the sarcoma, the only thing you can do is surgery. So the year is going by. Whatever complications happened. We dealt with them. And of course, RCCS was by my side, helping me through it. And I continued my journey with Dr. Lateo. Um, at the end of this month, will be 6 years since I met Dr. Lateo for the first time. And the cancer journey with Dr. Lateo and RCCS began. So I continued my journey with Dr. Lateo because I was done with the whole breast cancer. I didn't need any follow ups besides once a year a mammogram for the breast I still had. And I was going on those, and Baruch Hashem, they kept on being clear. And if I had any concern, I was able to see my doctor. And if I needed, RCCS was there again to help me through everything, whatever I needed, even if it was a minor concern. And for me, it was something big. They understood. They helped me get to see a doctor. They said I could be relaxed. Um, so the years go on. We're going into 2022. Baruch Hashem, I'm still clear. Every 3 months MRI, every 3 months CAT scan, and seeing the doctor. We're moving on to 2025, January 2025. So we go through Sukkot, we go through Rosh Hashanah and Kippur and Sukkot. We go through the rest of all the other holidays, the New Year, Thanksgiving, and everything else. Kids are back in school, normal school. We're doing usual. And September, I just had an MRI and it came out all clear. And all of a sudden, I go in for my CAT scan in January. And Dr. Terra walks into the room, and I never ever saw him so quiet and not able to look me or my mother in law in the eyes or even to ask, "How are you?" He was just a different person. You could tell there was something on his mind. So I asked him, "Is everything okay?" He goes, "Yeah, but not really." I'm like, "What do you mean? Let's go to the not really." He goes, "Well, there's something on your ovaries, but I've always had something on my ovaries. And the reason why they left my ovaries in is because Baruch Hashem, there was no cancer even touching it. It didn't even get through my uterus. And with sarcoma, there's no proof that it's hormone based, meaning the cancer is thriving off of the hormones. The hormones are food for it. So for me to go into menopause so fast like that wouldn't be fear to me because my body's already going through so much with all the surgeries that had and just all the changes it's going through that putting me into menopause would just, I think, exasperate everything else. And he didn't find there was a need for it if there was no cancer next to it because it was only within around the uterus, not the actual ovary. So I wasn't in straight. So we were worried about the the my ovaries but the ovaries, there was always a question about something, and they were always seeing something there. There was always a question. At one point, I even had a scare with my lungs, and of course, RCCS was there. I'm gonna go back a little because before in 2023 or 20 no September of 2024, I did have another scare. I had a benign tumor in my neck that kept growing. And they saw it a while ago, but then they saw it again and it got bigger. So Dr. Lateo did send me in to see a doctor to see if it needs to be removed and all, and to do a biopsy. And that time in 2023, it was right before my son's bar mitzvah. And the day they wanted to do the biopsy was on my son's bar mitzvah day. So I reached out to RCCS and explained the situation. And they are literally miracle workers. They were able to push it that I was able to do this biopsy before my son's bar mitzvah. And by some miracle, I went in to do the biopsy and they're like, "We're not doing it. It's all fluid. There's no need to do it." That's 2023. Come back to 2024. one of my routine checkups, Dr. Taylor was like, we're gonna actually have it checked again because it grew a little and it's a little concerning. And of course, I said right away person for so I had another coordinator and she got me in with the right doctors, the right people, everyone. And I ended up having it surgically removed. And Baruch Shem, that was benign. It was 100% benign. But because it started growing and it was next to my my feeding pipe and my all like vital organs in your neck, they needed to remove it. And it ended up being a lot bigger than they thought it really was. And then it was the size of a tangerine, a small orange. So that's 2024. That's September 2024. Then September, and uh, then we go through the year. I had that, and then 2025 comes along, and I find out that then I go in to see Dr. Teo, and he's worried about my ovaries, but something about him didn't feel right because he was just too quiet. But I was putting it as like he's just having a bad day. He's maybe he heard too many bad news, or he was giving off too much bad news, or he lost maybe someone he loved, or maybe I don't know. Whatever was going through my mind, it was nothing with the news I ended up hearing or seeing when we got the final report. So he ended up leaving the room by saying, if you have any questions when the report comes back, we'll talk. So in my head, it went straight to, okay, he's worried about the ovaries, maybe something with the ovaries. The report comes in and starts talking about seeing things on my bones. And I'm not talking about just one bone, I'm talking about my entire spine, mm, all my bones, my whole spine, and every bone, your hip, my hip bone, my shoulder blades. It was literally my spine was covered head to toe in lesions. And I messaged this to Dr. RCCS and I leave a message for Dr. Lateo. And he called me back later that day. And RCCS, being how positive they can be, and they are, like, I wouldn't worry. It could just be natural findings because of age. I wouldn't worry so much about it. But wait for Dr. Lateo to call you and let's see what he says. So Dr. Lateo calls me. I'm home already. My kids are in bed. And I sadly at this point know MSK's number by heart. And I saw the number. So I answered. And I put him on speaker because my husband was right next to me. And I went to him and he starts explaining about the bones and how he's very worried that it might be something and we have to get a biopsy and see exactly what it is. But before we do that, let's go for an MRI and see what's going on and let's get more details. So because I guess I was in denial with it and I just didn't want it to be true, I said, what about my ovary? He goes, I would be more concerned about your bones than the ovary. I said, I know, I am concerned about my bones, but what about my ovary? And I think he realized what I was doing. So he goes, your ovary, I'm not so concerned. But since we're getting an MRI about your with your spine, we're gonna do an MRI of your ovaries, of your pelvis also, just to get a better look at that. Okay, fine. We asked my husband and I asked questions we needed to, and he hangs up. And I reach out to RCCS, and they put me in touch with Elon, my coordinator till this day because of this cancer. Um, Baruch Hashem, I don't need the coordinator anymore for my neck. So once surgery was over and all, it was benign. So Baruch Hashem, she was just there to guide me through, to get me through the doctors and making sure it wasn't cancer. And Baruch Hashem, it wasn't, and that's it. And now we're on to Elon. Elon puts me in touch with the top doctor in MSK, and he first gets me for my MRI. He gets me my appointments, helps me with my appointments for the MRI. So this was Monday. I found out that there was tumors on my back, lesions that were suspicious. And the next Monday, I go for my MRI of my spine. And then Tuesday, I went for an MRI of my pelvis. I My husband had that my mother-in-law and I would stay overnight in Manhattan. And this time I don't have to come back and forth and do all the traveling. So I stayed overnight with my mother-in-law in Manhattan, and I ordered dinner for us so we could eat because not expecting the MRI results to come back right as fast as they did. And they did. And I open it. And the results send me into a wave because my body just went into full on shock. I I felt like the floor came out from under me because of everything that I was reading. And I just burst into tears. And my mother-in-law right away knew what was going on. I called my husband. I sent him the results. I sent it to RCCS. And I called Dr. Lateo's office, literally in tears, saying, please have him call me now. RCCS gets in touch with, again, more with Elon, and Elon. I'm sorry, Elon didn't get involved until after my MRIs. So Yidis and Chava did the work for me and got me my MRIs and all. And after the MRI results came in, then Elon got in touch with me and he worked on getting me the biopsy because that's what Dr. Lateo said. I said, what's the chance of it not being cancer? He goes, that's not a chance. I said, what about which one do you think is breast or sarcoma? He goes, you know by now that I don't give you an answer and I will not answer you that. But because I know you probably need it with everything you've been through, I'm going to give you the most honest answer, 50-50, because I really don't know. And you can hear the fright in his voice that it was sarcoma, because if God forbid it ended up being sarcoma, it's a more sad, I would say, prognosis, scary prognosis, because there's not much you could do besides surgery. And when it's all over your spine, that's a little hard to do. So it would be very, very tough. Chemo and all. He didn't even know where he was gonna go with it. Um, we went to the aisle, and actually, I think we went together to the aisle.
That was when but I didn't know this was going on when we went to the
Oh
OL.
no, we went to the aisle together because of the auction, but we
Last
also
year, we went to say thank you
yeah,
because we reached our goal.
yeah,
And I do remember when you went to the hospital with your mother-in-law, and you told me like this was like a little bit after we went to the OL that you went for this.
this test. We went to the aisle for that, so we were ready. We're davening for me,
But
and then
I
after
didn't know all of this fast
no,
forward.
I didn't even know yet. And then after all my results came in, my husband and my mother-in-law, and we all went to the aisle and davened by the aisle too to ask Hashem that we knew it's one of the two, but since we have to, since it's going to be one of the two evils, at least if you gave this to me on my plate, at least let it be the least of the two evils, the one where there is a lot of research on it.
So
And there,
I just want to interrupt for one moment, if that's okay.
sure.
We have all the types of people that tune into this class. The OL is where the Lubavitcher Rebbe is, um, his resting place, and people from all around the world go to the OHEL to ask for blessings, for him to be their connector to God, and to pray on their behalf to Hashem, to because he's the closest to God. He's a tzaddik, and a tzaddik is it's basically one like it's not what you know, it's who you know. So Tzippy, with her family, went to the OL to pray that they should have the best of
The
the
better
two.
two, yeah.
Yeah.
So the best of the two evils, because cancer is cancer and no cancer is good. But if it's going to be cancer, which we knew it was cancer, should be the best of the two, which is the breast cancer, the carcinoma, as there is a lot more research on it. And there's a lot more medicine to help fight the cancer than it is with sarcoma. So we did that. And then I went in for my spine biopsy. And the week felt like years, I would say it to me nicely. And I finally got the results. That was carcinoma. And even though it was a deeper breath of fresh air, it really hit me then. And that's when I thought the floor fell out from under me. I was getting swallowed up in it. Um, I can't. There's no words to describe of at that moment what it felt like. Um, I didn't know where to begin, and all I knew was speak to RCCS. So I reached out again to RCCS, and this time it was Elon, and he got me into an oncologist in MSK because the oncologist I have now, which we'll get to that story later on, wasn't going to be able to see me for a while, and he wanted me to see someone now. So he got me into MSK, and they were also trying to keep me in within the same hospital, same records. It's just easier sometimes that way. So I go in, I see the oncologist, and she goes, "We're going to send you for a brain MRI. Although I think your brain is fine, but we have to be cautious." So I go for the brain MRI, and that comes out that there is some tumors, but not on my brain. It's on the skull. So, which is better than the brain, but it's still on the skull. Um, so I go and I see this doctor, and she tells us whatever she tells us, and we ask whatever questions. But there's something about it that wasn't sitting right. But I just wanted to get the steps on the road. Like I just wanted to get it going. Let's just do something to help me fight this cancer. But as time moved along, she just wasn't the right person for me. And of course, again, I reached out to RCCS, and after each appointment and everything, I reached out to them. And I turned to Elon. I said, Elon, I can't. This isn't the right doctor for me. I can't fight cancer with this doctor. She will be the one probably to find a cure to some kind of cancer because she is. God gave her a brain for it, and she is phenomenal with that. She is very smart. But when it comes to me and what I need in order to fight this cancer, she wasn't the right shliach for me. And so he right away worked his magic. And by time Shabbos was over, by the time the week that rest of the week went by and the weekend was over, Monday afternoon, I had an appointment with Dr. Diabro. No, it was Wednesday afternoon. She doesn't see patients Monday. Sorry. Monday afternoon, he told me that I have an appointment with Dr. Diabro. And that was a whole different game. She is very smart too, but she also has that warmth and the love and the cure that I, as a patient, needs in order to fight my cancer. And she had patience to answer my questions, my mother-in-law's questions, my husband's question, and one of my sisters needed just to hear it from the doctor or some question she had. So she asked if it was okay. I put her on speaker when I see the doctor and when I'm ready. So I put her on speaker so we could all ask our questions. So she was able to get the answer she needed for herself. Because honestly, me giving her answering anyone it's not the same as hearing it from the doctor, and I know that. So my mother and my husband were with me, and my sister was able to speak to her over the phone, and it was a different ballgame. She started me on chemo med. I started on hormone suppressant, and the reason why they had to suppress my hormones continue to. So I needed to have my ovaries removed because this cancer is hormone based, where they use the hormone. The cancer uses a hormone as food, and in order for anyone to be strong, you need food. You need sunlight, food, drink, water, all that. So the cancer needs food. And my cancer was using my hormones to eat to stay alive and continue growing all over my body, my bones. So that was the first thing. So Dr. Lateo got involved, and we Dr. Lateo did my surgery, and he did everything possible to make sure that it wasn't a major surgery and he could do laparoscopic. And once I healed from that, I was able to start my hormone suppressant, which even if your ovaries are out, you still have hormones in your body. So you need to suppress those hormones too. So I started that medicine, and then I started the chemo medicine. And I got the official diagnosis of stage 4 cancer. So it's a lifetime worth of treatment. I'm always on it. Um, and if I go off of any of them, it could be dangerous to my health as the hormones. If I stop the hormone medicine, then the cancer has what to grow on. And if I stop the chemo meds, the cancer isn't being killed at the same time. So they work hand in hand. Um, I don't know how I would survive this if it wasn't for my husband, who has been and what has always been my my backbone, my strength. If it wasn't for my children, and if it wasn't for my mother-in-law, who is just an amazing lady, and she knows how I feel about her, but she's one of a kind, and I'm very, very lucky to have her as my mother-in-law. And for my family, just my whole entire family in general, just all my family, my side, my husband's side, just everyone from my family in general, I wouldn't. And of course, if it wasn't for RCCS, there is another place that does help me. And between RCCS giving me the strength on the bitachon and helping me with my bitachon, there is another thing that I'm gonna say, because stage 4 is extremely scary, and it doesn't only affect you physically, it affects you really hard mentally. And when it comes to mental, no doctor or anyone could help you. It's something that, as a person, you need to fight. Your family and your husbands and loved ones could support you and help you through it, but they're there and they're the best. But it's nothing like when you have someone that's going through the same thing and in similar shoes as you to help you through it. And Baruch Shem, I knew someone else that was going through stage 4 cancer while I was dealing with the other cancers. And we were talking on and off. We weren't really good friends yet, but we were talking on and off. And she's like, you should join Wonder Woman. I'm like, who is Wonder Woman? What is it? She goes, I'm telling you, join, join, join. So Wonder Woman is another organization that supports women dealing with breast cancer in all stages. So it could be from the beginning to stage 4. And those women are the women that help me with my bitachon and my mental and the mental health, the help that I need for my mental health, because they understand what it's like. And the heads also made a separate group for the stage 4 woman, because no matter what kind of cancer you have, stage 4 is a whole different game than just going through your chemo and then yes, it's rough stopping chemo and going through your new life. That's not easy. Not easy to start life all over after cancer, because your life is never going to be the same. But living with cancer the rest of your life, knowing that you don't know if medicine's gonna work or not knowing if the next scan's gonna tell you that it's back and with vengeance and just growing. You it's 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 the worst. It's horrible. I think it's worse than finding out I had sarcoma, and that was scary. Stage 4 is, I don't have words to even explain it. So the Wonder Woman, stage 4 Wonder Woman, and just the whole entire family of Wonder Woman ladies have really helped me get through the mental part, while RCCS has helped me get through the physical and all, and helped me with the doctors and all. And they both have helped with my bitachon too.
Wow. Tzippy, I don't have so many words. We do RCCS together. We're organizing the auction. Tzippy is a partner in this 100%. We, and even though she's going through this very big challenge right now in her life, she still, look at her, she still has so much bitachon and amuna, and she's but very real and honest and raw. She still, it's very challenging. And we spoke earlier today, and I told her that we have a Shar B'tachon class that I actually personally recorded with my cousin Devorle and Druzy, and people really find it so healing. And people tune in from all over the world to hear this class. We did 52 classes, and we have one more to hit 53, which is the chapters in Tanya, which I think is so amazing. But the Lubavitcher Rebbe was very for people who are going through challenging times or doubts to learn Shar B'tachon. Shar B'tachon was not written by a Chabad rabbi, but a very big rabbi, and the Rebbe really wanted people to learn it. And Tzippy wants to relearn it. So maybe with Tzippy, we could all learn it together. And if anybody wants the 52 classes, you can reach out to me, and I'm going to send it to Tzippy right after. Um, like I told people in the beginning, and I don't think it was recorded, but I'll say it again. Someone came to the Lubavitch Rebbe and they said they want Mashiach to come, but he can come in like a few days, a week. And the Rebbe said, what about the people that need it now? What about the people that need it yesterday? So we really need to do everything we can to bring Mashiach, and
Mm.
we have to say Ad Masai, like till when we need Mashiach to come, because you know we don't want our brothers and sisters to suffer. And Tzippy is going through a lot in her life, and it's she um right before this happened, tell us what you were in school for. You got your bachelor's. Tell us what you were planning on becoming, and please God, very soon you will be able to fulfill that dream.
So before I go into that, RCCS also helps with the mental. So they have been there through it all for me, and they still are. And Elon's always checking in on me, and they're just phenomenal. But with Wonder Woman, it's just a different kind of help than what RCCS gives. But to the question that I asked, I was, thanks to my husband who gave me the support and strength, I was able to get into college, and I did 3 years of associates, 2 years of associates, and graduated from my associates to become a nurse. And I started looking for a school to go to in order to get my official bachelor's in nursing. And then cancer put me at a stop sign or a freeze on that, as I need to be able to be on my feet for over 12 hours a day, and I can't right now.
So Hashem is guiding you right now, and please God, very soon you'll be able to fulfill that dream. And even when you're going through so much pain, you still want to help people. Like you're doing this RCCS. You could have said, "Hey guys, this year I'm out. I'm not going to be doing it, but please have me in mind." But no, you are pushing through it, and we are a team. Um,
Oh, the cancer causes a lot of pain, lots and lot of crazy pain. So
But I
that's
just want to
a
give a shout out to Tzippy and to our amazing team, Miriam and Etty and myself. It's okay, I'm giving myself a
yes,
shout out because we're all working
yes.
so hard to bring funds in for RCCS. So if you want to know why I'm doing this year with full like passion, is because I want Tzippy, people like Tzippy, to get the beautiful help that RCCS does. And we do not work for RCCS and we don't take funds for this, but every single dollar that comes in is going directly to the organization. We're so careful with the money that we get. The prizes sponsored, like we don't take money out of your donation to pay for prizes. We're trying to get the food sponsored. We're trying to get the venue sponsored. If anybody wants listening to this and wants to help sponsor some of the evening, it's happening November 23rd. But we really need you guys to support this organization and to support our cause. And it will bring a lot of joy to Tzippy this year if we reach our goal. Our real goal is $72,000. We hit, I believe, 9,000 so far with raising, so we have a lot more to go. But $25 goes a long way to buy a ticket. There are incredible, incredible prizes. We are going to put the links on the description of the class. Um, if you want to reach out in any way, if you want to give more than you can, for $540, you can get into every ticket into the prizes. And I want to tell you a little secret. Last year, so many of my friends won the auction prizes and they were so excited. Um, and yeah, it's a beautiful organization to support. They are angels on this earth that helps. And without RCCS, I think the journey would be much more challenging for Tzippy. It would be so hard. And like Tzippy started out, she told us a little bit about her family life. Um, she lost her very wonderful father-in-law through this, and it was very hard and challenging. She has two special needs children. Tzippy, how are your kids taking this? Like, how are they like grasping that their mother is going through a challenge? Like, are they challenged? Is it really hard for them as well?
So Baruch Hashem, they're doing okay. Well, in the beginning it was really, really hard. Um, Baruch Hashem, my husband and I have found ways to
Wait,
be
I
able
just
to.
want to interrupt you. Sorry. Sippy and her
Sure.
husband are both very hands-on parents and they're wonderful. So
Thank you.
that's why I'm asking this question.
So Baruch Hashem, my husband and I found a way from the first cancer to sadly this return about how to talk to them. And one thing is we learned the kids love animals. So finding a way to explain it in some way with animals or whatever it is. And that's how we explained it. However, we needed to, we explained it. And when it came to going to the doctors, my kids had a lot of questions when we told them that the cancer was back and it's a lifelong fight. And I wasn't able to answer it. So we turned to them and then we said that, how about this? Once I have my doctor's appointment and I know I'm going, the night before we'll sit down and each of you will ask one question and I will try and get the best answer I can. I can't promise you they'll have an answer for sure because not always is there an answer. And that helped them a lot. Um, they've seen me. They see me go to the hospital. They see me go into the emergency and via ambulance. They've seen me literally just fall to the ground because I passed out and just not feeling well. And they see me come home after 2 weeks in the hospital with really strong 5 days worth of radiation to my pelvis. Um, I fall down almost a flight of steps because no matter my husband and my sister-in-law were helping me down, my feet just became very weak, gave out, and I went falling down. Most people don't have to go to the hospital because only because I've got cancer on my bones and my bones are very weak, there's a good chance they could break. And because I went back first and it's my spine and all, we had to make sure I was okay. So my kids have become very protective over me on the steps. Um, so from my 15-year-old to my 8-year-old, um, I know I could trust them watching me go down the steps and going up. Um, so they're handling to their best ability, but they've got great schools and great supports. And we're very open with them. So they know they can ask whatever questions they need and we'll answer it to the ability we can with them. And on Shabbos, more or less, they know it's a time to sit down and just talk to me if you want or talk to my husband. Because Shabbos is the day I'm usually resting in bed and my husband's sitting there playing games or their Bubby Leader, my mother-in-law is playing games and my brother-in-law, sister-in-law, everyone's usually playing games with them. So as the Shabbos goes on, either the girls are sitting talking to me or the boys come in and ask questions. And with each appointment, I explain what's going to go on and what it is because they're very nervous and I'm not okay. Like right before I came on to do this, my daughter saw I had my shaitel on and I was doing this and was doing that. And I was able to make lasagna tonight, which they were thrilled. So she goes, Mommy, just promise me you're okay. I said, I promise you I'm okay. I'm just going to do this. And we really try to keep life as normal, I guess, if you want to put normal in the sentence, as possible, because what else are they going to do? Think about their mother having cancer and the possibility of, God forbid. So it's not something I want on their head. And I know it's something that goes through their head because I know how hard it is for me and my husband. So normalcy is the best we can. And certain things were a little more lenient because every minute we have with them is extremely precious and life is precious. So we do what we can when we can and help them as much as we can.
You mentioned lasagna, that it's such a big deal for your children that you made lasagna because it seems like it's a big deal because it doesn't seem like you're able to cook so much, right?
And the hardest part was no one was home. And my husband didn't even know I was going to make it until I reached out to him and asked if he had something. He goes, "Why are you doing it?" I said, "Because I've been wanting to. I had the ingredients for so long because I've been wanting to." And I said, instead of just staying in bed, I decided to get out of bed and try and do it. Push myself a little.
And you told
Uh,
me earlier that it was so good and your kids were so excited. It
my
was
That's
delicious.
actually the one meal all my kids agree on, and they all love it. So the once in a while when I'm able to make it, it's nice just to know they will love it. So they didn't know I was making it. So when they got home and lasagna was ready, and I told them that, by the way, there's lasagna for dinner, they were so excited. So just to see that, it was worth just to see the smiling face, no matter how hard it was for me to have to do it. I sat down making it, but then carrying it to the oven, and no matter how hard that all was, it was worth it just for their smiles and for them to tell me how delicious it was.
Wow. So this is very taxing on your family. So I hope it's okay. I'm asking you this, being that you are, you can't do what mothers do, and you can't make a normal dinner. It takes so much effort. You can't just go to the store and buy ingredients. You need help with everything. And your husband also is out there, with a job. Um, so your
I
life
can't
really.
leave, sorry, I can't leave the house without my husband because I can't do the steps without him, without someone watching me because it's dangerous. I'm so weak that I need help down the
So
steps.
right now, I know that for a while, like there were, I hope it's okay, I'm saying this, but
Yeah,
you have to
my
be,
grade.
you have to be a little bit vulnerable. And there was a food chain going around, and I was part of it, and I know someone that organized it. I think you know as well. And she's amazing. And when when you have to take, it's not always so easy because you are like a more on the giving end than a taker. But right now, you don't have a choice. You need help, even going probably just out of your bed, just going down the steps. We had a meeting for RCCS, and Tzippy was there. And guess what? She couldn't come to my house to do the meeting because I have steps, and the other people where they live, they also have steps. So we went to a restaurant, and Tzippy walked in with a cane, and we're sitting there, and we decided to go to a spot. It's like more, I wouldn't call it a restaurant, but it's like a delicious spot. I'm going to give them a shout out, Holy Schnitzel, because I went in there and I asked for a gift card, and he was so gracious, and he gifted us $50 for our package. And you know what? It's a big amount because it adds up, because if you're going to look at the packages, you're going to want to win the restaurant package or the food packages, or I mean juice and food, right? Um, and when he saw us, I'm like, "Hey, how are you? I just wanted to say thank you. And this is my team that I was telling you about." And he glanced at Sippy, and she told him, she doesn't hold it back. She goes, "I'm going through this right now. And thank you for," she was very thankful to him. And I think she touched him because he said, "Take my number down and reach out to me because maybe we can do more for you guys, for the organization." And I was like, wow, that's so special. We didn't ask for more. Whatever anyone gives us, we're so thankful. And right now, I'm not going to do the shout outs on the live on November 23rd. We're going to have the most amazing MC, Miriam Friedfertig, and she is going to um, share all the amazing prizes, as well as Charlene is going to be speaking, and I will open up the evening. It's going to be on my YouTube channel, but we do want people to come. I don't know when it's going to go up, but it's going to be a live, amazing event that we hope everyone's going to come and everyone's going to support, and everyone's going to try to give a little bit more than they did last year, because now you see what RCCS does. We had some questions that came in, but I want to bring out one point, if that's okay. Tippy can't make dinner every night. This was a real, um,
Before you say that, can I say one thing?
of
Since
course. No, I just want to say it
okay,
was a big Avaida for you. It was a lot of work that it
yeah,
took to make. I mean, dinner is effort for anybody, but
Yeah,
not like this, not how you had to do it, sitting down and you were so excited about it and your kids were so excited about it. So sorry to go for it.
yeah. So when it comes to dinner, for when I first found out about the cancer and things started going down, I got to give a shout out to my grade because as soon as they heard, they put their heads together and took charge. And I was in the hospital for 2 weeks. Got out of the hospital Erev Pesach. They had everything, all the sides and the Seder plates and all, everything ready that my sister-in-law usually cooks and my mother-in-law and everyone usually helps. But she didn't have that help because my brother-in-law stayed back to pick up my mother-in-law and I and bring us to where we were for Pesach. My husband was busy, and my other sister-in-law, other sister-in-law, was busy taking care of my kids and doing shopping and packing to go where we were going. We weren't going far, but we just had a place where we could all be together and with as least steps as possible, I guess. Um, and it really helped because I wasn't cooking and she had no one. So all the meals they prepared, the gift cards we received, and all really helped because no matter what, I have so many doctor's appointments and I'm in so much pain half the time that I just need my husband just to help me with things. That what my grade did for me was just beyond amazing.
So I just want to add to that. I spoke to you before, and obviously everything I say on here, I asked before. I'm very sensitive. And I said, Tzippy, practically speaking, how can we be there for you? Okay, we're all there for the RCCS organization, but how can we be there for you? So this quote came my way, and I'm not going to lie, I just want to be a little vulnerable. Sometimes it gets exhausting to organize community events. There's disappointments. Why isn't that one posting? Why isn't that one helping? And it gets very tiring, and you're like, is it even worth it? Tonight, Tzippy, really, you gave me I get to do this. I'm so lucky that I get to um, help with this organization, even though it's challenging and even though it's a lot of work. But I'm hoping that everyone's gonna want to help more after you hear Tippy's story. Now, I didn't know you're gonna go into all these details. I didn't even know half of this, what you're sharing, like I would say three-quarters of this. But I'm so grateful that you did because I feel like you opened up the minds to like people and myself. And next time someone needs a little bit of extra help, they're gonna think twice. And if you don't go through something, you don't really understand, and you really have made us understand so much of what you're going through. So we're so grateful because it's it's something that we need to know. Because when you know an Aleph, you can give more and be there more for our loved ones or anyone that we know. So I want to share a quote that I think you'll really appreciate, Mary Tzippy. I'm gonna read it. Give me a moment. And I think it's very special. And then I'm going to share what I wanted to share. Remember, whenever you're in a position to help someone, be glad and always do it because that's God answering someone else's prayers through you. I thought that was very profound. And I decided that I'm so lucky that because sometimes you complain, it's so much to do. Someone came to the Rebbe and they said, I'm tired and I can't do this anymore. And he's like, what should I say? The Rebbe never stopped, the Lubavitcher Rebbe. So I was speaking to Tzippy and I'm like, practically, what can we do? And she gave me permission for this. So just give me thumbs up if you're down that I can say it. Um, it's taxing on the family, very taxing. And um, coming home to dinner would be very helpful. The thing is that home cooked dinner gets a little complicated because Sippy's kids all have their likes and dislikes, and she doesn't want the food to go to waste or to the garbage. So I came up with an idea, and she okayed it. I said, "Would it be helpful for you that we can help you and your family, and like give gift cards to restaurants and takeout places so you can um, it's there. It's you have an account and you don't have to worry. And um, so basically, if anybody would like to participate in giving Tzippy like the smiles on her kids' faces that they come home and there's delicious food, um, They always have food, thank God, but she could use help with that. I'm personally organizing it, and I'm going to be putting money in different accounts in different like stores that I know her kids like to eat from. So reach out to me if you'd like to be part of it, and we will organize it. I will. You know how to reach me, or whoever shared this class, you know how to reach me. And it's the little things in life that are really the big things. So, yeah. So, Tippy, another question came in. I know it's uncomfortable to take, but Hashem put you in this situation, and we're all one people, and we all want to be there for you. So, okay, and for your amazing family who just deserves to have whatever you energy that you have to give them, that you can play with them, and you don't have to worry about the materialistic things, the things that we need. We want to carry you. Um, okay. Someone wrote, I would like to ask just how RCCS has connections to prioritize appointments. I can barely get an appointment with my own doctor. Does RCCS have a person that actually goes with Suppport in addition to phone calls, etc.? How do they have the network? So, Tzippy, I'm sure you know a little bit more about this.
Well, from what I understand, it started off as the head, I believe, the one that started it. I think a family member, and don't quote me on it because I'm not 100% sure, was sick and actually was diagnosed with cancer. And to get appointments was a hard thing. And so he started off with, I think, in his house in like a little garage, and eventually grew into this. They just find doctors, check them out, make sure they're good. And it really also is word of mouth. It's when patients get back their feedback. So when it came to the breast cancer, Chava, she kept on saying, I wish I had a doctor that was like Dr. Latea. Because everyone in RCCS knows how great Dr. Latea is. Because he's like the number one doctor out there. And sadly, now that I know Dr. Diabro and everything that I've been through with her over since January, um, I turned to Chava one day and I said, you asked about having a doctor for like Dr. Lateo. Well, you've got one. She goes, what are you talking about? I said, sadly, I'm your shliach, but Dr. Diabro. So don't worry, you do have a Dr. Lateo. They just have their magic. I don't know. Hashem gave them the the technology, the hands, the voice, the brains, just everything possible to have this power to be able to get. And honestly, not all doctors are willing. Like I know the first doctor I was with, like I said, she's very smart and she'll probably be one of those that will find a cure. But one thing that also turned me off about her and made me want to not stay with her was she turned to Iwan and said, don't ever reach out to me again. Have her just reach out to me through the portal. And that wasn't an easy task because she never answers the portal and her team doesn't return your calls. So that was another thing that really bothered me
You need a
because
lot of
I have
heart.
an advocate and you should be happy to have an advocate because I know Dr. Lateo and Dr. Diablo love that I have an advocate. So that was another thing that was a little hard. So yeah, I can't exactly answer you how they have it. Baruch Hashem, they do because I understand what that person's saying. Because getting a doctor's appointment is stressful, very stressful. Just to get an appointment with your regular doctor, just to get strep culture, to be very simple, a task can be hard. So I'm very, very thankful for RCCS because I don't know if I would ever have Dr. Latero, Dr. Diablo if it wasn't for them. I don't know if I would still be here if it wasn't for them because I wouldn't have the best doctors.
Wow. The Lubavitcher Rebbe said that when you go to the doctor, to always get a second opinion and to ask someone that's a friend, and a Rafea that's a friend. And RCCS is that friend who are so connected to the doctors, and probably I'm pretty sure they have doctors on their team, and professionals. So if you know anyone that is going through this, do reach out to RCCS or someone that can connect you, because don't go through something alone. And that's with anything. Thank God the Jewish nation is the most amazing. We are the most amazing people. We really, really care. So Tzippy, I want us to thank you so much for sharing your life with us and your story, because through your sharing, I believe you're going to help a lot of people with people wanting to support this organization. I just want to ask you, because I forgot to ask you this, how can someone be there for someone that is going through what you're going through? Like, if you can give us a little bit of guidance, because people listening, sometimes people don't know, so they just like disappear, or they don't call, or they don't text because they want to be invisible. What is something that I know everyone is unique and different, and everyone takes things in different ways, but if you can give us a few tips for the world, those listening to, we always like to take a takeaway.
Um, Patience. That's one thing. Lots of patience. Because I know I haven't been easy the last few weeks with everything going on. But my husband has had the patience that I don't know where it came from, because I haven't been easy, and I know that. Um, Listening, just listen. Sometimes you don't need to have an answer, and that's something I have. My siblings have been very good at listening. Um, my husband, my in-laws, my friends, sometimes just having the listening ear, and send over foods, call them, tell them, hey, I know it's not easy. You have good and bad days. Would you like to go out, or I'll bring over breakfast, or I'll bring over dinner tonight? And just be there in any possible way you can. And Baruch Hashem, I have that. I have that from my family. I have that from my husband's side. And if it wasn't for family, I don't know. And if it wasn't for my grade, that the first few weeks of this, the first month or two, I don't know how Pesach would have been made, because it wasn't an easy task doing the whole Pesach. My sister-in-law doing it all by herself. But I've got
Some-
amazing family.
Something you mentioned that I think is very important, and it's something that we all do. Let me know if you need anything. Could you tell us? Is that
So
helpful?
no, turning to a cancer patient, or really any patient going through anything, saying, hey, if you need anything, reach out. I'm telling you, they're not thinking about who said that and if that person really means it. Because sometimes in passing, they say, oh, if you need anything, reach out. But deep down, you're like, I hope they don't really reach out, because you don't know if you have the time or day. So if you kind of say that and the person reaches out, you should really mean it. But honestly, I know I don't have the time or day to think of, hey, this and this person reached out. I know I could turn to my older sister in Muncie and say, hey, I need dinner tonight. I have a doctor's appointment. Would you mind helping? And with the snap of a finger, she will have a whole order going out to me. Like literally, she would have enough to feed an army probably at this point. She has the kids pick. And an example of what she did, my neck surgery was a day before my son's English birthday, and he was turning 11 or 12. I don't remember when it was. And for some reason, that is something he became obsessive about, his birthday, which usually his English birthdays, we say happy birthday to him because it's still his birthday. We never do anything to. And my sister heard this and she went above and beyond. She goes, you know what? You're going to be staying by your mother in law. Call me, and on his birthday, we'll have our big dinner together. He could be with his mommy. And if I'm feeling up to it, and I Baruch Hashem was, and she sent over to feed an army, and she made sure it was enough for my in-laws too. And she sent food over, and he had a nice little English birthday party
Wow.
with his mommy.
Wow. So Tippy, Tippy agreed to do this, really not to share her story, really so we can help RCCS. So if everyone could tune in, or come or show up, or you can be an ambassador for RCCS. We're gonna put on the description of this class, the auction that you can purchase tickets. Please purchase, please get others to purchase. We will be so grateful. To be from the bottom of my heart, I'm going to say your full name. Tzipporah Bas Yocheved Zissel. Hashem should send you full healing. He can do anything, Hashem, and you should just have everything you want and need in a revealed way. And we are all going to pray for you. You gave me permission to put your name out there. It's on the flyer. And everyone's going to really dive in that you have the miracle that you deserve and you need.
Amen.
We are gonna conclude with a roll call. If you didn't tell us where you're from, please put it in the chat. Okay, so we have with us tonight, just want to say that Rabbi Kolarski, this is something he did for the Kinnos HaShluchim, and this weekend is the Shluchim Convention. If you come to Crown Heights, there are thousands of men in black and white, okay, from all over, rabbis. And it's like, where's Waldo? Where's your rabbi? Kind of thing. And they're all having an incredible meetup in Crown Heights, Brooklyn, and a Kinas HaShluchim, a huge banquet as well. And every year, Rabbi Kolarski would do a shout out and a roll call. So I'm very humbled that we have almost the whole world tuning in from all different places. We have ambassadors all around the world. We were asked to mention that England tunes in, they're on a different time zone, South Africa, and Israel. So tonight we have with us Manhattan, we have Brooklyn Heights, we have Crown Heights, we have North Carolina, we have Mexico City, we have Chicago, we have Toronto, we have Far Rockaway, we have Montreal, we have Cedarhurst, we have California, we have with us New City, New York. I believe we said Ottawa, Canada. Um, a lot of places tuning in. So humbled and honored. We had a big crowd tonight of 55 ladies that tuned in live, and many more will listen to the recording after. I want to conclude with Hakar Sataiv. I want to say thank you to Hashem and the Rebbe for giving me this opportunity to spread light into the world by people sharing their life journeys and stories. We always like to help people. And so, yeah, I feel very lucky and humbled. I want to say thank you to my mashpia of this class, my mentor, Shandy Jacobson, for all the work we do behind the scenes and just being a support to me. I want to say thank you to all the ambassadors of the class. An ambassador is someone that spreads this class on their chats, on their family chats, on their status, and in 1 minute, poof, goes out into the world light. And I share my merits with you. So consider being an ambassador today. We'd love to reach the whole world. I want to conclude. Also, I want to say thank you to all of our incredible ladies that tune in weekly and all the feedback. We love feedback. We send it to the speakers, and please send us feedback from this class. And lastly, I just want to say thank you to my dear husband who helps with the tech of this class. Really humbled and honored that he does that. We have the Soulful chat. That's Soulful. Well, it's a chat. I'm going to put it on the don't leave yet because I'm going to put it on in a moment where you can join. But we have a podcast called The Soulful Spot and our YouTube channel, Chaya Mink, that's CHAYAMINK. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We also have with us today Glendale, California, we were asked to say. So I'm going to share now with you all the chat where, and I also have a Sharby Tuchan chat. So if anyone wants to be on there, they can, starting some amazing new initiatives. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We're gonna follow up with that for bringing, but I'm gonna turn off the recording now. And Tzippy, really thank you for doing this. You empowered me to continue my work with helping RCCS. So thank you. And I'm sure many, many more people. And we love you and we just want the best for you.
Thank you. Thank you.